If you're waiting for certainty before you act, business will crush you. There is no moment where everything feels safe, certain, or guaranteed. The people who succeed are not the ones who learn to avoid uncertainty. They're the ones who learn how to adapt to and tolerate uncertainty. The people who succeed are the ones who learn to work within uncertainty. The gym teaches this lesson better than almost anything else in the world. Success in business isn't about eliminating uncertainty, because you can never eliminate 100% of the uncertainty that you will experience as an entrepreneur. It's about learning to tolerate, adapt to, and operate inside of uncertainty so that you thrive regardless of what's happening around you. Strength training is one of the best ways to develop this skill. In business, there are a lot of factors. There are a lot of ways to be uncertain. There are a lot of factors that create uncertainty. You don't know if your offer will work. You don't know if your social media post will hit. You don't know if your client will say yes or no. Uncertainty tends to create hesitation, anxiety, and overthinking in a lot of people. And that uncertainty, that anxiety can lead a lot of people to failure. They overthink and then they miss their opportunity. So most people fail at business when they encounter uncertainty, not because they're bad at business, but because the nervous system can't tolerate that level of uncertainty. Now, strength training is the best way that I know to give yourself structure so that you feel more safe, more secure whenever there is uncertainty. And it also trains your nervous system to adapt to situations where you feel uncertainty, right? You'll be able to tolerate more uncertainty. First of all, strength training gives you structure. Right. You go to the gym consistently, ideally at the same time every single day that you train. That's a structure, right? So you know when everything else is uncertain around you, you have your gym time. That's structure. That gives you a little bit of certainty that you can hold on to and keep you stable while you manage everything else around you. Oftentimes when you go to the gym and work out, you're doing the same movements. You know, you're doing the squat, bench press, deadlift, or some variation of those consistently every single time you go to the gym. That's certainty. That's another anchor that you can use to keep yourself stable as you navigate everything else around you. And then you also follow the principles of progressive overload, which keeps you centered and it helps you chart a course through the uncertainty. Progressive overload, because progressive overload will give you that feeling of making progress when things are uncertain, so that you stay motivated, you stay engaged with the effort, and you keep moving forward. Now, strength training provides that structure, so it gives you a little bit of certainty in the midst of the uncertainty. However, there's still a useful amount of uncertainty within the structure that you can use to train yourself and develop yourself into a person who tolerates uncertainty well. For example, if you're doing strength training the right way, you will inevitably encounter moments where you don't know if you're going to be able to finish a set. The weight is heavy, your body is tired, and you're having that conversation with yourself. Am I going to be able to finish this last rep? That's uncertainty. You have to do the rep anyway. You try to complete the rep anyway. And whether you succeed or you don't succeed, you just trained your nervous system to take action even when you're uncertain. So the structure of strength training is what keeps you grounded when the larger aspects of your life feel uncertain. And then there are the small moments of uncertainty within the structure that train you to adapt to uncertain situations, and you'll be able to tolerate more uncertainty in your life. So that's why strength training is one of the best tools that you can use to train your nervous system to adapt to uncertainty. Now, that situation that I just described, the uncertain moment when you don't know if your body will hold up, you don't know if you're able to finish the rep or finish a set, I like to call that a last rep moment. And the power of the last rep moment is that it's not that you always succeed when you encounter a last rep moment. It's that you're training your nervous system to try anyway. That's where the adaptation happens. Because a lot of people give up in a business context whenever they encounter a last rep situation, right? But if you're strength training, you've trained your nervous system to try anyway. So in a business context, a last rep situation would look like sending an email with an offer to your list, or launching that new marketing campaign, clicking publish. It could be making your offer to people in your DMs who are curious about what you do. You can make that offer. A last rep situation could be raising your prices. Or it could be creating that piece of content and then pressing publish. It's a last rep situation because you don't know what the outcome will be whenever you execute on those things. But you've trained yourself to try anyway, so you go ahead and take the action. And whether you succeed or you fail, you get feedback from the marketplace, and you'll be able to adapt and make your business even stronger in the future. When people think about strength training, a lot of the times they just think about the physical adaptations that you get. You get bigger muscles, you're able to move more weight, and a lot of people even downplay that aspect and say that, oh, you're just a gym rat, oh, you're just a muscle head, like you have nothing going on for you other than your body. But the reality of the situation is that strength training doesn't just train your body, it trains your nervous system. That's your brain and all the nerves that innervate your body. You're training your entire body when you do strength training, not just the muscles. So what strength training does to train your nervous system is that you train yourself to stay calm under load, under pressure. For example, let's say you're doing a set of heavy squats. You're squatting 315 pounds plus for the first time ever. And you have to stay calm enough to maintain your form. You have to maintain that intra-abdominal pressure, keep your stomach tight. You have to make sure that the bar isn't folding you forward, it isn't collapsing your chest. You gotta maintain a rigid and strong back, keep your head back. You gotta make sure that you're breathing well under pressure. You have 315 pounds on your back. And you have to do all of that before your body gets tired and gives up. And then you have to control the weight on the way down and move the weight back up. And if you panic at any time during that entire process, you'll lose balance and you likely will not be able to complete the rep. So you're not just training your body in that situation, you're training your nervous system to remain calm under pressure. And that's the exact kind of adaptation that we need in order to be successful in business. When we face those last rep moments, those uncertain moments, we need to be able to remain calm under pressure and execute the task anyway, to the best of our ability. So what this looks like in a business context would be something like keeping your nervous system regulated when things are uncertain, or remaining calm whenever there's a delay in feedback from the marketplace, or continuing to execute when your emotions are getting the best of you, when you begin to spiral emotionally. You still need to be able to execute the task that you need completed. If your nervous system collapses under pressure, no amount of business strategy will help you. You need to be able to stay calm and execute to the best of your ability. Now, strength training helps you create a structure in your life so that you can adapt to uncertainty. And if you're following a program, then you can use that structure in order to make advancements. You continue to make progress. You continue to advance and execute on each task regardless of the uncertainty in the program. In business, that looks like having systems, processes, consistent output, and feedback loops that you can use to adapt to the uncertainty. The same way that in strength training we use programs, training schedules, progressive overload, and we track performance in order to adapt to uncertainty in the gym environment. So we build systems in business so that we're not relying 100% on motivation all of the time. You don't want to freeze whenever ambiguity comes up. You want to have a system in place that tells you exactly what you need to execute on and what kind of results you can expect to see from that action. And you also want systems in place that help you continue to show up even when results are unclear, outcomes are unclear. Your ability to adapt is the real strength here. In fitness and in business, is your ability to adapt is the real strength that we're trying to train. And the strongest people aren't the ones who avoid uncertainty. They're the ones who have trained themselves to carry it. The gym gives you a controlled environment to practice discomfort, doubt, and pressure. So when the same feeling shows up in business, you don't break, you don't panic. You just execute the task calmly to the best of your ability. Strength is not just about muscle. Strength training is not just about building muscle. It's about training your nervous system and developing your ability to adapt regardless of the situation. And adaptability is what lets you win in uncertain environments. If you want to build strength that actually transfer to life and business, start with structure, consistency, and small progressive challenges. That's what the 1% Better system that I built is designed to do. If you're interested in checking that out so that you can build your life 1% better each day, I'll have a link for you in the description below. In conclusion, you want to train under load so that you don't break under pressure. Business is a last rep sport. My name is Barry Barbell. This has been Fit for Business, where strength becomes leverage and you build a body that builds the business. I hope to see you guys in the next one. You have a great day. Peace.